Have you ever felt that your life is such a loop that all the things that happen in your life are getting repeated over and over again in different forms and shapes? You have been trying to lose weight a number of times without any success. You are going in and out of the very same type of relationships, how much ever you want to avoid that. You want to quit some of your habits, but you have tried a lot of times without any success. Have you ever thought, why is this happening? Hi, welcome to Life and Beyond. I am Sangeeta. Here we discuss everything about health, happiness and productivity. In today's world, we all tend to present ourselves in our perfect best selves. We dress perfectly, we talk perfectly, we behave perfectly, and we think that how we present in front of the world, how we present ourselves to others is what we are. But what happens inside? Now, you might be thinking that I'm too busy that I don't have time even to think. I don't have time to talk to myself. But is that the reality? We think about 50,000 thoughts per day, and we are so professional in that self-thought or thinking that we can do 100 things at a time in the outside, but still continuously continue that mental chatter. In fact, it has become so automatic that we don't even realize when we drift to that self-talk. And we can see that most of the time, the talk that we have with ourselves is not positive. Here, I want to remind you is that there is no middle path. Either it's positive or it's negative. If you are not moving forward, then you are moving backwards. So most of the time, we know for ourselves that it is not a positive things that we feed ourselves. So why does that happen? Why do we go on doing that negative self-talk? Here there are so many aspects. We have a misunderstanding that we tend to think negative when something heartbreaking or something big enough happens in our life. Here I am going to be a little bit blunt on your face to say that it's exactly the opposite. Most of the time, the root cause of the negative self-talk is the infinitesimally small or the minor events that happens in our life. It is not the very die-hard criticism that we experience from others. It is that casual talks, the talk that your mom had with a friend telling that her son or daughter has a very terrible memory, or the casual thing that a friend told someone else that you are very shy, or you are naughty, or you are an introvert person. These are very seemingly small things that we tend to forget these triggers, but we have that effect or that influence in ourselves, and we tend to become that person as we progress in our lives. The second most important aspect is that as kids or as teenagers, we are very sensitive to the comments or the takes of others on our personality and our being. When someone says to you that you are a very shy child or you are a very naughty kid, and when this is repeated casually again and again, we ourselves tend to believe that I am a late person, I am a naughty person. How much ever I try to remember the names, I am not able to remember. I am a very forgetful person. So what happens? You feed, that other person feeds it to you once, but you feed it to you an umpteen number of times, and later on your subconscious mind decides that you are a naughty person, you are a shy person, you are an introvert person. Then what do? You realize that you have something in you, you are shy, you want to change that. What do? You try to change the actions. You try to become more extrovert. You try to make a lot of changes on your outside that you get to change that character. And when you try to implement that change outside, what do your subconscious mind say? Wait, have you forgotten you are an introvert person? You can't do something that an extrovert person does because you are an introvert person. Then what happens? The change or the resistance to the change becomes so high that you are not able to keep up with that change, or you are not able to continuously implement that change in your life. Also, all these negative tidbits of information that others give you and later on that you yourself give to your own subconscious mind makes you go into that negative comfort zone. So, what is that negative comfort zone? Here, when something happens that you want, you immediately tell yourself, I can't do that because I am not that sort of a person. When you want to go to an event early, you say to yourself, or your subconscious mind says to itself that no, I am a very late person, so I can't reach that event at the time or before time. So what happens? Here there is a negative comfort zone. Why is there a negative comfort zone? This is because sometimes you don't want to own that responsibility. You are feeling comfortable that you have a reason for remaining like that in your life. Because I am a late person, because I am an average student, because I am not a morning person, because I don't like to exercise, I am not an exercise type of person. So you give yourself all these little tags so that you need not own a responsibility to change the behavior that you want to take, or you don't want to put in that effort that makes you change the behavior that you want, because change is always difficult. So what exactly happens when you have loads of this bits of information? Why is it this significant? For years, scientists believed that our brain structure or the number of neurons in your brain cannot be altered. But recent research have shown that the brain structure or even the number of neurons in the brain can be drastically changed whatever age you are. This is very important in creating or in quitting a habit. So when you have that habit, or when you are fed that information by your close ones or you yourself, what happens? The first time you are fed with that information, one new neural pathway fires, and then as the information is repeated, the neural pathway fires often, and then it becomes an automatic pathway. This is very important. Once a neural pathway is reinforced so much that it becomes automatic, then you need not think to have that response. Let me give you an example. You are fed with the information that you are a forgetful person. You are not good in remembering names. So first you forgot a name, someone told you, your mom or your friend or your partner told you that, oh, he is a very forgetful person or she is a very forgetful person. That information is fed, that neural pathway is triggered. Now what happens? The second time you forget, the third time you forget, then someone tells you or you yourself tell, oh yes, she had told me that I am a very forgetful person. Now what happens? That neural pathway is becoming stronger and stronger. Now your subconscious mind have accepted that as your reality, that yes, you are a forgetful person. The next time what happens? You don't even bother to ask the name of the person in front of you, because you know, why should I ask that name? Because I am a forgetful person. And sometimes what happens? You realize, yes, I am a forgetful person, I want to change that. What happens? You don't change your belief, you change from outside to inwards. So you think that I want to remember that name, and then you struggle to remember that name. Now what your subconscious mind says? Have you forgotten? You are a forgetful person. What is the point in remembering that name? You are not going to remember that name because you are forgetful. So here what happens? That small tidbit of information has triggered in you a pathway which has accepted itself as a reality that you are a very forgetful person. So unless you change that belief, that core belief that I am a forgetful person to I am a person who can remember anything, and unless you reinforce that belief to make that belief a reality, you are not going to create a character that is consistent. So, having said all that, how can you control your thoughts? I already told you, you think 50,000 thoughts a day, and monitoring 50,000 thoughts in a day is going to make you so held up that you won't have time for anything else, and that is not humanly possible. So, what can we do? There are 3 very simple techniques by which you can change this negative self-talk into a positive one. The first way is to talk to yourself. This is very important. The negative self-talk happens all day, every day if you are not aware. So, how can you change that? You consciously talk positively to yourself. Now, keep this video paused and write 1 or 2 things in your life which you feel is looping, and identify the core negative belief that you have which is causing that thing to be repeated again and again in your life. Don't change anything on the outside, but change your belief. You can change that belief with positive self-talk again and again, or you can change that belief by giving positive affirmations for 10 or 15 minutes every day morning, and see the results for yourself. The second thing is, even if you spend your mornings in a very positive way, there is high chance that a lot of self-talk can come to you as you progress through your day. So, always when you identify a negative talk, then just convert to I am. Instead of telling to yourself that I want to be fit, I want to be healthy, I want to exercise one day, just change it to I am a fit and a healthy person. This change of perspective will open before you the very small opportunities whereby you can prove to yourself that you are a fit and healthy person. Change the things like I will not, I am not able to, or I want to someday to I am. I am affirmations throughout the day, and a very strong boost of I am affirmations in the morning can go a long way in changing the self-talk that you have, which is mostly negative. The third and a very powerful way is to monitor your emotions. As I told earlier, it's not possible to monitor your thoughts one by one, but it is very easy to monitor the emotions that are associated with the thought. So, it's very easy to pick out the one which is positive and to let go of the one which is negative. Any thought which makes you feel all sorts of positive emotion is a positive thought. Any thought which makes you feel all sorts of negative emotions, be it hurt, be it hatred, be it anger, be it sadness, be it resentment, all these can be grouped as negative self-talk. So, monitor your emotions as you progress throughout your day. If you are feeling positive emotions, then it's high likely that you are telling something positive to yourself and to others. And if you are feeling on the lower side, on the negative side, it's high likely that you are talking negative to yourself. So, give it a try from today on. Do a 15 minutes of positive affirmations every day. Always when you realize that you are having a negative self-talk, change it to an I am with a positive affirmation. And always monitor your emotions. They will give you the key towards your thoughts.